My boss at work on Women's Day shared with us a TED talk from a lady named Chimamanda Adichie. And I think somewhere while watching that TED talk for the third or the fourth time, I could relate with what another woman was saying, even though it was in the context of another country, another space, another lifetime. Anyways, I end up going to a bookstore in Panjim that I frequent, and I was picking up a book for a friend, and I saw this tiny book. I'll put the link below. The name of the book is Dear Ijeawele, a Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda. And I said, oh, I know the lady, I know she's a feminist, I know how she speaks, I like it. It's a tiny book, I can read it, let's pick it up. And what an amazing decision to pick it up. I think I'm surprised that this book was published in 2017 and I never really heard about it from anyone. So I think this is one of those eureka moments where I go like, oh my god, I should have read this when I was 15, or why didn't someone give this to me when I was 15? Beautiful book. I encourage every young girl in any culture all across the world to read it, because I know somewhere something will resonate with her. Well, let's start off. Considering this is the first book review, you don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to read the book to you, but I'm going to go ahead and not read the whole book, but read snippets of it, so that the words of the author stay true and I don't paraphrase them. It's a letter that she wrote to her friend when her friend asked her how to raise a feminist child. And she sets the base right at the beginning when she says that I do not have carved in stone rules on how to be a feminist. I have just two premises. One, that one should have a solid, unbending belief that you are an equal. I matter, not if only, not as long as I matter equally. Full stop. And the second question is, can you reverse X and get the same results? For example, if a woman can leave her job to stay at home for a new baby, would that be okay if a man does it too? Or is she just doing it because she is a woman? So this is how she begins the book, setting the tone for what she feels, and she never really deters from it. It's a single-minded, strong opinions in a book, but very subtly and softly put, where you think about it and warm up to it. So let's start with the first suggestion that I really loved. The first suggestion she gives her friend to raise a feminist daughter is be a full person. I could not agree more. Mothers, daughters, sisters should be full people. It's not just that one role that we play. We should be a fuller person, and that will help us be a better mom or a better sister or a better any role that we choose. Even as an employee, if we choose to be creative and have hobbies and go to the gym or however it goes, that affects our work too. It's a complete life. And she suggests to be a full person. I agree with Chimamanda. Second suggestion, do it together. Well, this is for couples to figure out when you raise a child together, be parents together, be caregivers together. And we all have had parents, or at least have seen uncles and aunts raise kids or raise our siblings. And I would like to agree with this. I would like to agree that someone, a wise old soul, should tell a friend or a family when they have their child that, hey, listen, be parents together. I think that's important and needed, and it's in this book. Third suggestion: teach her the idea about gender roles is nonsense. Okay, now here is the first ball, that curveball that hit me. Gender roles is nonsense. I know it on my periphery. We speak so much about it. Women can do everything. Women are this, women are that. But it never really sinks in, because as we're growing up as children, we're always given the play set or the kitchen set, or we play house. We're always directed towards something. If we go out and play, well, Jessica, don't be too boisterous, or don't be too loud, or that's what a boy is supposed to do. I think gender roles is something that we can vocally say that we don't believe in, but on a subconscious level, on an internal level, I don't think we've realized the impact it has on us. And Chimamanda goes ahead in very simple but sure words to underline that, and tells her self, her friend, and us while writing this book that, hey, listen, always remember, do not forget to be aware of gender roles and don't succumb to it. We went to the third suggestion. Let's go to the fourth suggestion, which is about feminism light, and I'd like for you to read that. The fifth suggestion that I loved is teach Chizalum to read. Chizalum is the daughter of her friend for whom she's writing this letter, and says teach her to read. Okay, you and I, if you're watching this and you've reached so far in the video, you love books. I love books. And I think not just a girl, but a boy, anybody, we must teach our younger generation to read. At least read fiction, if not non-fiction. Whatever they choose to read will be bliss. Oh, how important reading is. It really, really is it's a necessity in one's life. So she underlines it. She drives home the point that teaching and making a girl read and want to read really broadens her perspective, makes her a full woman, teaches her to go beyond gender roles, and I think that's important. I will end with the seventh suggestion, because this is how the book got me to make my videos. Actually, I thought to myself, I must share this, and how do I share it? And this was that moment where I questioned all of my life, really. I think every book has that moment where you question your life and go like, really? I've been doing it that way? And a new door opens up, and it's just that moment where you choose to walk in through that door and be on the other side. The seventh suggestion in her book is never speak of marriage as an achievement. Find ways to make clear to her that marriage is not an achievement, nor is it what she should aspire to have in her life, or aspire only to have in her life. A marriage can be happy or unhappy, but it is not an achievement. So much of life is lost when we condition girls that marriage is the finality, the final goal of being a woman. But is it really? Is it really the only goal of being a woman? Isn't there more to who I am, to who you are, to who we are? And can a marriage really define all of it? Yes, I'm for marriage, I'm for love. The beauty is undeniable, the love is fulfilling. But if that's the only thing we aspire or grow up to be, there's so much of life that's lost. There's so much that we can be that we aren't being. So I encourage you, I nudge you to read this little book full of surprises, full of big thoughts, and so many beautiful things. I hope you buy yourself a book and go through the 8th suggestion to the 15th suggestion, because they're as good as the first 7. I give this book like 6 stars on 5 for how it has been worded, the words, how strong the ideas are, and how simply they have been put, simply but surely. Go ahead, read it, and let me know if you were as moved as I am.